Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan. Today I'm going to be showing you guys what I think. Well, not think. This is a sort of an opinion piece. This is, in my opinion, the tastiest bottom shelf bourbon in America. Okay, and I've tried a lot. Obviously, you go to the grocery store, right? And there's that bottom shelf, and it's got tons of stuff on you. White Label Jim Beam, and Elijah Craig small batch might be down near the bottom somewhere. Your Wild Turkey, not 101, just the standard offering. There's tons of bottles down there on that bottom shelf that are, 20 bucks and under, 15 bucks, 18 bucks, 22 bucks, whatever they may be. And I've tried a lot of them. So far, I have not had a single one that I like as much as this one, which is why it's almost empty. And frankly, by the time I finish recording this video, this bottle might be empty. It might be empty. But this is Old Bardstown bottled in bond, okay? This is distilled by Willet. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. We'll do tasting notes and all that stuff in just a minute. But Old Bardstown can be found in, I believe, all 50 states. The caveat is that the bottled in bond one, I think, can only be found in Kentucky. I could be wrong. Maybe they're starting to put it on, I think online retailers will have it. Obviously, you can pick it up outside of Kentucky online. But I don't think your local liquor store is going to stock this. But it's just a $20 bottle of whiskey. $20 bottle of bourbon. I'm going to go ahead and pour this. I'll talk about it a little bit. So I picked up my bottle in Kentucky when I was down there last. And the one of the things that's interesting about this bottle is the mash bill. Most bourbons have around 5% malted barley in the mash. Just because that's sort of the minimum that you want because of the enzymatic power that barley brings to the table to convert starches to sugars. So they make sure that there's malted barley in the mash bill, usually around 5%. This has got 15% of the mash bill is malted barley. I mean, that's a lot for a bourbon. And then it's 72% corn, 13% rye. Now, one of the biggest differences between this bottle, the bottled in bond bottle, and the other just standard Old Bardstown bourbon that is on shelves in every state, is that the Old Bardstown that's on every shelf is, it might not be 4 years old because it's a blend of barrels. They're just blending all the barrels together. Some of them are sub 4 years old. But the bottled in bond, it has to be a bare minimum of 4 years old in order to be called bottled in bond, and it's 100 proof, so it's, I think the standard offering is 99 proof. This is 1 proof point higher and guaranteed 4 years old minimum for 20 bucks. So that's one of the things that differentiates this from the standard offering. Let's start to nose this. On the nose, I get, very first thing that I get, maraschino cherries, man. Just those maraschino cherries in the juices still. You know what I mean? Like you get them at the store in their juices, those cherries. Very sweet on the nose, and even buttery. Like I literally think of butter, like margarine, and some butterscotch candies as well, like your Werther's Originals. And probably because of the age, a little bit of like dry erase marker too, but mostly just sweetness. Now I don't want to like set expectations too high. Like I said, this is what I believe is the best bottom shelf bourbon in America. It's cheap, but you're not gonna get like those beautifully complex sips with wide swinging variety in your tasting notes. It's gonna be pretty simple. Let's try it. It's just three things on the palate. It really is just three things. It is candied cherries, it is butterscotch, and it is ethanol. The finish is all cherry and oak. Lots of cherry. Yeah, it is by no means a complex whiskey in any capacity. It is what it is. It is simple, it is sweet, and for 20 bucks, it's pretty good. I mean, I would never be disappointed on a weekday just to pour a little bit of that in a glass and sip on it while you're getting some evening entertainment in, watching a show, playing some games, whatever it might be. But yeah, since I picked that up in Kentucky, I think that anytime I'm passing through Kentucky, I'm going to look for a bottle of that, because it is, like I said, Kentucky exclusive. But for 20 bucks to have something that's that yummy, right? It's just yummy. How can you pass on that? Yep. Very consistent. Cherry, butterscotch, and oak. And ethanol. But it's got a good mouthfeel to it. It is really creamy, really oily. And that's probably due to being bottled in bond at 100 proof. Yeah, there's just really nothing wrong with it. And quite frankly, a lot of the bottom shelf bourbons that I have had there's plenty to complain about. There's plenty wrong with it. A lot of times it's watery. It's not very thick or viscous. It has like no finish to it. It's just like one and done. Boom, hits your palate and then it's gone. It just runs away. It doesn't mosey out the door. It sprints out the door. So for the price point, I have yet to have anything that is as good as Old Bardstown Bottled in Bond. So that being said, if you're ever picking up anything on an online retailer, see if they have any of that in stock. You might be able to just add it to your order and have it shipped with the other stuff too. If you're ever passing through Kentucky, stop at a liquor store, see if they've got any of this. The liquor store that I went into when I was in Kentucky, they had like 50 bottles. It was just like stacks of cases of this stuff, and the top one was open and you could just grab a bottle and go, and it was dirt cheap, very easy to buy, very easy to drink. So there you have it. Distilled by Willet, Old Bardstown, Bottled in Bond. Try it sometime if you haven't had a chance to do so yet. Make sure that when the opportunity arises, you do it in the future. Thanks as always for tuning into the video, and a big shout out to my Patreon supporters. You guys are rock stars. Thanks for funding all the bottles that we get to review here on the channel. And a big shout out to the Patreon supporters who have sent me samples. I had another box come in today with tons of samples, so big shout out to Mike. I really appreciate you, brother. But whiskey can get expensive, so I really do rely on you guys a lot. When you're sending in samples, you're sending in bottles, so I can keep the content flowing without draining the bank account every week, because I try to get like 3 to 4 videos out a week. And if I was buying all that stuff myself, that would end my marriage. So that would not be a good choice. So I really do appreciate the support, everybody sending me stuff. It really does mean the world to me. Cheers, my friends. A little splash there. Hey, may you live richly and get better with age. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.